Hi, I'm Scott Schilling. I'm with the Prometheus Group. I am in the marketing division for Maximo. The reason that I came to MaximoWorld, not only to talk about our products that we have at Prometheus Group, but also the key was to talk about Maximo User Groups, the user group communities, which are such a big part of networking and keeping people together and interactive. Prometheus, we did a survey not long ago about how they receive their maintenance information on asset management, inventory control and all. And the poll came out at 52% of the people received their maintenance updates and news through networking. Maximo User Groups are all about networking. Well, the thing about user groups is the focus is on end users. A lot of vendor-sponsored user groups help drive the community, but when we talk about putting presentations together, it gives that end user a chance to showcase their organization, how their organization uses Maximo, and I think most importantly, gives them the opportunity to talk about tips, tricks, fixes, lessons learned. So a lot of these folks are going kind of through that same struggles in doing an upgrade or doing an implementation or putting a third-party solution in motion. How did it work? There's so many different third-party solutions out there. Which is the right solution for us to use? So you're gaining that experience through networking through your peers. They've said that post-implementation of Maximo or an upgrade is the only training that they get. So they find that attending these user group sessions on a regular schedule basically gains the knowledge of what's missing in formal training out there. The theme around MaximoWorld, obviously, connecting and reconnecting. And I think with the Maximo User Groups, we've kept that continuity going throughout this pandemic that we've had for the last 18 months, through kind of changing from on-site meetings to webinars, kind of a new culture for people, kind of warming up to webinars. So we've kept that momentum going of connecting people and keeping them connected. MaximoWorld is great. I mean, it reconnected people, which is key. I've got a lot of folks that have asked about user groups, how to get involved with user groups. And I think most importantly, it's again, bringing people together again, face to face. What we call webinar burnout is kind of what's happened in trying to keep these user groups alive. And what happens is you're on a webinar and of course, you start multitasking and you kind of lose focus on that webinar and you grab some good information, but it's not the same as in-person meetings. So I think one of the things about bringing people back together at MaximoWorld kind of gets that momentum going that, hey, we can do this. We can be back in person and we can practice social distancing, whatever we need to do to keep these face-to-face shaking hands, bumping elbows, whatever we need to do to keep the communities alive. We've got regional user groups, which are pretty much industry inclusive. So it's not really focused on one specific industry because everybody has something in common in Maximo usage, managing their assets, inventory, third-party solution add-ons. Regardless of the industry, they're all trying to support their assets, their maintenance practices. So then you have your industrial groups, which specify oil and gas, transportation, facilities, pharmaceutical. Also, you've got technical groups that function on the technical aspect of Maximo. Servers, upgrades, implementations, things like that. In solutions, you've got a couple different solutions groups out there. I mean, you could look at mobility, you can look at planning and scheduling, several different solutions out there where these groups together and talk about specifically what they do in their particular user group. Where to find the groups? If you find these user groups through Maximo's IBM IoT community is kind of the base camp for Maximo User Groups. There's also LinkedIn User Groups, which is a very wide outreach of people. We talk about, how many followers do you have basically on LinkedIn? How many of those people, are in that same kind of space that you're in that you can reach out to for user groups. So a lot of user groups are at the LinkedIn homepages as well. You can look at dedicated Maximo User Group websites. A lot of these MUG groups have their dedicated website where you can go and get information on when the next event is, how to get involved with a particular user group, involved with the user group community, get on a steering committee. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved and find these user groups. Obviously Google search, Facebook, there's a lot of different social media platforms where you can find out where these user groups are, because it's important to find out where are they at. My industry, you know, what I do, where I focus on, how do I get involved with a particular user group? To be able to network with people, to stay connected, especially through these times.